James Carter's home was crumbling under relentless leaks, but the HOA blocked his roof repairs, insisting, "Rules are rules." HOA President Victoria Hensley scoffed at his pleas while lounging in her lavish estate, built on double standards. Then a storm roared through, flipping the script, and the fallout for Victoria was catastrophic. Let's dive into this gripping tale of justice. In the pristine Oakridge Meadows, tree-lined streets and flawless lawns framed homes straight out of a dream. James, a skilled architect in his mid-30s, moved here with his wife, Emily, and their 2 young kids. Their colonial-style house, a charming relic, bore the scars of time, peeling paint and a roof battered by years of neglect. After a ferocious storm tore through, leaks turned their cozy attic into a moldy disaster. James knew repairs were urgent. His family's safety hung in the balance. Meticulous by nature, James drafted a detailed renovation plan, selecting roofing materials that matched the neighborhood's aesthetic while ensuring durability. Emily watched him hunched over blueprints at the dining table, her brow furrowed. "Will they approve it?" she asked, clutching her coffee mug. James flashed a confident grin. "I followed their rules to the T. It's a done deal." But fate had other plans. Days later, a letter arrived. James tore it open, expecting approval, but his face fell as he read. "Request denied. Roofing material does not meet aesthetic standards." Signed, Victoria Hensley, HOA President. "Are they kidding?" Emily snapped, scanning the letter. "Half the roofs here don't match." James, usually level-headed, felt fury bubble up. He prided himself on precision as an architect who designed towering structures. This rejection wasn't just wrong, it was personal. The next morning, James marched into the HOA office, a sterile box behind the community center. The receptionist barely looked up as he demanded to see Victoria. After a tense wait, she appeared, a sharp woman in her 50s, clad in a tailored blazer, radiating authority. Her reputation as an iron-fisted rule enforcer preceded her. "Mr. Carter," she said, her smile cold. "How can I assist?" James cut to the chase. "My roof repair was denied, Ms. Hensley. I followed every guideline. This is urgent, my home's falling apart." "Why was it rejected?" Victoria's tone dripped with condescension. "We must preserve Oakridge's aesthetic integrity." "Your materials don't meet our updated standards." James blinked. "Updated? Since when?" Her smirk widened. "Rules evolve, Mr. Carter. We can't make exceptions. Surely you understand." Her dismissal stung like a slap. James pressed. "I've seen other homes with similar materials approved. Why them and not me?" Victoria's eyebrow arched, feigning surprise. "Each case is unique. The decision's final." She turned to leave, leaving James seething. He'd built skyscrapers, yet couldn't fix his roof. At home, he slumped into a chair, the crumpled letter in hand. Emily knelt beside him. "We'll fight this," she whispered. But James wasn't so sure. How do you battle a system rigged against you? That night, rain pounded the damaged roof, each drip mocking James's failure. But despair sparked resolve. Victoria might think she'd won, but James wasn't one to quit. "She plays by her rules," he muttered, "but I'll beat her at her own game." Late one night, James pored over HOA records, newsletters, and emails in his dimly lit office. His search revealed a pattern: homes owned by Victoria's allies, HOA board members or close friends, got approvals for blatant violations. A neon green roof, solar panels banned for aesthetics, a towering fence, all greenlit. Yet James's historically accurate slate roof was unacceptable. The hypocrisy fueled his rage. He documented everything: photos, approval letters from disgruntled neighbors, and timestamps of shady projects. The leaks worsened, turning the attic into a swamp. Family heirlooms molded, a cherished photo warped beyond repair. When James draped a blue tarp over the roof, another letter arrived. "Unsightly addition. Remove or face fines." Fines? James roared at Emily. They'd rather our house rot? Her eyes hardened. Show them who you are, James. Fight. James rallied the neighborhood, knocking on doors. Some neighbors feared Victoria's wrath, but others, burned by her tyranny, joined him. A coalition formed. At the HOA's monthly meeting, James stood at the podium, facing a tense crowd. Victoria sat at the head table, her gaze icy. This is about fairness, James began, voice steady. He unveiled photos. His tarp-covered roof versus approved violations, a garish roof, an oversized fence. Murmurs grew. These homes got exemptions, James said, pointing to Victoria's allies' properties. But my urgent repairs were denied. Why? Victoria's voice was smooth but sharp. Each case is unique, Mr. Carter. We prioritize the community's aesthetic. James didn't waver. So my tarp, protecting my family, is worse than a neon roof? Victoria smirked. If you don't like our rules, perhaps Oakridge isn't for you. Gasps filled the room. James's fists clenched, but he stayed calm. Rules should protect us, not favor a few. This isn't just my fight, it's about accountability. Whispers erupted as neighbors nodded. Victoria shifted, unsettled. James had ignited a spark. A storm loomed, the air thick with tension. James watched the darkening sky, his tarp flapping weakly. Hope it holds, he muttered. As rain lashed the house, power flickered, casting eerie shadows. The storm raged, and James couldn't help but think of Victoria's pristine mansion, her pride and joy. A bitter thought crept in, what if her house faltered too? Morning revealed a battered neighborhood. Neighbors assessed damage, then whispers spread. Victoria's house got hit hard. James walked to her mansion and froze. Her roof had collapsed, rainwater gushing through holes. Shattered tiles littered the driveway. Her manicured garden was mud. Inside, her prized living room was a swamp, her chandelier dripping pathetically. Victoria stood in the doorway, disheveled, clutching a soaked towel. Fix it now! She shrieked at a contractor. He shrugged. Need permits, ma'am. HOA rules. Her face reddened. This is an emergency. Rules are rules, he replied. The irony was delicious. Neighbors gathered, some smirking. Poetic justice, one muttered. James stepped forward, voice calm but pointed. Tough break, Victoria. Rules don't bend for emergencies, do they? She glared, but the neighbor's judgment weighed heavily. Defeated, she turned away. James felt a mix of satisfaction and pity. Victoria's downfall wasn't the win he'd imagined, but it exposed her hypocrisy. James seized the moment. He compiled evidence, photos, testimonies, contradictory HOA policies, and filed a formal complaint, demanding a special meeting. With lawyer Rachel Brooks, he uncovered a bombshell. HOA funds had bankrolled Victoria's home renovations, with forged signatures and no board approval. The corruption ran deep. At the packed meeting, tension crackled. Victoria's composure faltered as James presented his case. This is my roof, he said, projecting photos. Denied for standards. But here's a green roof, approved. Here's community money funneled to Victoria's house. Gasps erupted. Neighbors shared stories, fines for minor violations, denied accessibility ramps. Victoria stammered. These claims are exaggerated. But the evidence was undeniable. The vote was swift. Victoria was ousted. She stormed out, her heels echoing. A new board vowed transparency. James's roof repairs were approved, and as workers climbed his roof, his kids cheered. Emily squeezed his hand. You did this. James smiled. We all did. Oakridge healed. Victoria's ruined mansion stood as a warning. Power built on hypocrisy crumbles. One evening, James and his kids camped in the repaired attic, laughing under string lights. Justice had prevailed, not just for him, but for all. What do you think? Was James's fight worth it? Share your thoughts in the comments, especially on whether subtle jabs, like James's quip to Victoria, belong in conflicts. Smash that like button, subscribe, and let's keep the conversation going.